Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on folks. You can mail our way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we're over the hump. It's Wednesday, over the hump. Ooh, can you believe it? We just got a few more days left of October. I mean, what the crap? It's been about 2 weeks since the Olympia. I mean, Halloween's just about a few days away. I got a birthday in another 3 weeks. Oh my God, I can't believe another 3 weeks. Oh God. Yeah, it's just seems like the birthdays used to come every once in a lifetime. But seem like they come around the corner every other day. Folks. So, folks, enough of my problems. We have here's a lovely lady who's here. She is a coach, trainer, also IB figure pro. We have here the lovely Mrs. SheNesia Ewing, aka Coach Nisi. She just made a debut this year at the Atlanta Pro. Shout out to Linda Murray. That is a great show. I had the pleasure of going to seeing her Savannah Pro a couple of years ago. My first bodybuilding show. It was a great opportunity. So we'll be talking with the coach. She started following me on my IG, and I love to reach out to these ladies, get their point of views and their thoughts and what they got them into the sport of bodybuilding. And also, this is something we got to start off. She do serve our country in the United States Army. So as a citizen, I always say this. I don't say thank you for your service. I say as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice you made for this country. That's what I say to you, because you're not doing a service. You're sacrificing your time, even your life. And we do appreciate that as Americans that live here and anywhere in the world. So, welcome, ma'am. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you. And please, Coach, share us why got you started. What got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity. Please share.
um, honestly, I can't really tell you what actually started. I mean, I've been an athlete all of my life. And when I started my fitness company over 13 years ago called Uncovering the New You, my clientele at that time was mostly over 40. I hadn't hit 40 yet. I just turned 40 last year. And my clients were like, Coach, you don't really understand. You really don't understand. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't understand? I've got all my education. I've got athletic background. I've got military training. I'm a former drill sergeant. I served 3 years on the trail down at Fort Jackson. Like, what do you mean I don't understand? You don't understand how hard it is to change. You don't know what it is to be overweight or to have a addiction to food and so forth. And I'm like, what is something that I really, really could do to change myself? Bodybuilding. What is something? Because bodybuilding is something that you really have to be mentally and physically ready to do. It requires food discipline. It requires mental discipline. It requires consistency. It requires you to show up. It requires you to be alone. It requires you to change your nutrition from a whole different way of lifestyle living. And so I wanted my clients to really, really, really understand that I do understand their struggles. No, I've never really been overweight because I've always been an athlete. The biggest I've been is 164 pounds, but I was pregnant with a baby. And when I lost my son, I'm not lost him, but when I had him, I was 126. So I went from 164 to 126. The only struggle I know is truly gaining weight, right? I couldn't gain weight for 4 years after having my son. So I took on the challenge of bodybuilding to show my clients that it was just as hard for me to understand consistency and be on a structured program that required more of me than normal just going and fixing a big pot of spaghetti, eating a couple pieces of garlic bread, and moving on about my day and having that. There's a certain body type and a lot of other mental characteristics that go along with it.
Yeah, that's a good point because I've been dealing with being because it's. I think sometimes genetics. I've been a big guy most of my life. I did play football and sports when I was a kid, but then you get a job and then you don't work out and train like you used to. And I am over 40. Next month will be my 50th birthday. Thank you. I don't want to, but yeah, that's the thing about bodybuilding. It really is a sport that I think inspires people to test their limits.
Yes.
And most people outside of it don't see it like a real sport. because it's different between if you look at the mainstream stuff like football, basketball, baseball. It's all and also there's always that point of accusation at bodybuilding because of steroids. But the fact is, it's in almost every sport.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. It's in every sport. You're gonna find it. Some people choose the natural route. Some people choose it, but it's all based on what you and your coach wants to do. I find it. It's no different than weight loss when you're in and when you're training. Some people are using other pills, potions, and shots for them to lose weight. It is really no different. So it really depends on what a person wants to do with their body.
That's true. We have here some guests here. We have my man, KL the Wanderer. Shout out to KL. He says, good morning. Good morning to you, brother. Also, we have here is a lady who I think she knows you. This is Tiwana Wood. It says, the best coach, you guys. Oh, appreciate that. Hey, yo, your
Thank
people coming in here. Also, we got here is it Doctors and Clarence and
you.
Walker? Okay, I'm not good with names. So
That's
it says,
right.
yeah, I said, hello, DC. Nice to have you here. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Also, we have this from my man KL. He says, says, yeah, counting the days of October, George. Yeah, we don't have that many days left. It's going by. And also, he's picking on me again. Y'all says George, you're following George. You have the following. You George, you the Mac. Brother. I'm not the Mac. I can never be a Mac. What I can be is my man Jerome. I'm a player from the Himalayas. Yeah, I love that character from Martin. I mean, you'll love that. Yeah, So yeah, and that's the process. Now, what was the first show for you, and what division you started in? Because I know, most I saw for you, you started in wellness, and
Yes,
then
I
yeah.
did. Ooh, my goodness. I started in December 2021, actually a day before my birthday. I had turned 39 that year. 2021 was it 30? No, nope. I had just turned 38 that year. And I did the Atlanta Pro. I did the Atlanta Pro, my very first show. And I did the Charlotte. No, actually, that was my second show. The Charlotte Cup was my first one in wellness.
Yeah. You're not that far from me. I live like good about 100 miles from Charlotte.
Okay. Yep.
I'm like thinking about checking that show one day. They don't have women's bodybuilder physique, but because it's closer, I think I might check out what he
Yeah,
said.
Charlotte is a beautiful show. I cannot wait for them to actually have the pro level. I think they're going to have it this year, or they're going to
Well, they
actually.
didn't have the pro level. They have it. The
I
Charlotte
haven't
Pro.
looked at it. I haven't looked at it. My coach and I have not looked at that one yet. But if they
Yeah.
do have it, then that's perfect. I'm a new pro,
Yeah.
so I'm still trying to figure out all the pro shows. But if that's one, I want to go back because it was such a beautifully ran show, very organized. I mean, I loved everything about that show. They made it very easy for the competitors. Just it was just smooth sailing across the board. That was probably one of the best shows, and it just felt so good to be there. I did well in wellness. I placed first in true novice. I came in second in novice, and I did not do open that show because I was still learning. Yeah, so and trying to learn from YouTube without a wellness coach, opposing coach. I just learned everything off of YouTube, and that was hard and the worst thing that you could ever do.
Yeah, it's tough. Like when you try to find your process, how you develop as an athlete. Especially with wellness, it's a new division. It's very popular because it fits those aesthetics with women who like maybe don't want to be too big at the top, but a little bit bigger on the bottom. As truthfully women who have those strong Afro aesthetics, like
Yes, they do.
and yeah, and with the other divisions, it's evolving. Like when the decision was made for you to switch from wellness to figure.
After that show, so my coach at that time, when we placed, um, there was wondering, well, why did I place, the way that I did? And we get the judges' feedback. One of the judges said to my coach, do not bring her back here as wellness. Do not bring her back here. When they looked at me, they said the only thing that they could really focus on was my back. They said your back was so built. It is beautiful, rounded, so much muscle. And my hair at this time was not this long. When that judge looked at me, I was just like, don't come back. Yeah, don't come back as wellness. And so my coach looked at my physique again. He asked me and he said, all right, what do you want to do? He said, have you ever thought about figure? I did not know anything about figure because bodybuilding was new. I didn't really know too much about the divisions. And I had not really done any homework because, again, as an athlete, I'm just going to kind of trust my coach leading me because I knew that he was focused. I knew that he was knowledgeable. He had tons of experience. And so I said, well, coach, I said, whatever it is, tell me what I need to do. He said, you like to lift? I said, I sure do. He said, let's go with it. He created my program within the next, and here we go. We went into figure with that. I ended up doing a couple of Florida shows and placed first, third, first and second and third. I placed fourth in a couple. And within a matter of 7 shows post that show, I got my pro card at North Americans, right, in 2023. So it was a matter of understanding the body type and understanding what my body was capable of doing.
Yeah, and yeah, it's good. You working out. Your coach, both y'all made a decision. Who's your coach, and how long y'all been working together?
My coach now is Coach Lloyd Dollar. Excuse me, IFBB Pro Lloyd Dollar. Okay, let me make sure I say that because he is an Olympian. He has made it there before. He has been on stage for many years, and now, I mean, he's one of the best coaches I've had. Now, all my other coaches I had too, but I moved from them for different reasons. Sometimes you and your coach are not on the same accord. Sometimes you need a coach that is going to define things a little bit clearer. Sometimes that you're going to need a little bit more work, right? Because for me, again, it was about molding me as a coach too. Because sometimes, when you go to the doctor, you like your own doctor. You come in with your own set of rules and regulations. And the thing is that when you come in with your own set of rules and regulations, the doctor says, no, I need you to listen to me. And my coach and Coach Dollar, he's one of those. Just listen to me. I understand. He'll hear me out. I can be drawn out sometimes when I'm concerned, but he's straight to the point, direct, and just on point with everything. And so he's absolutely amazing when it comes to that dialing in on excuse me.
Water? You drinking the water?
No, we're good. But he's very straight to the point and very direct with everything. I got some too on the way. I got coffee and water. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's good that you have a good relationship because I think this week me and some people were talking how things are going crazy with the coaching this year. I mean, you saw the whole thing with the I think it was Sean Korea's coach and a couple of the guys coming out and comments are coming. It's just we find that good relationship with a coach, especially for a woman. You
Yeah,
know, men and women, as I said, it's just we're the same species but different breeds.
for sure.
And yeah, and just that how our bodies function. Like men, we can burn fat more than y'all women because y'all have a high
Quicker,
BMI, you know.
quicker,
And
quicker.
especially when you develop a body, you can't give the same plan you give for a man you give
Right.
for a woman. You have to work with, your how your body's developed. Like you said, like I know coaches say you get the blood work so they see
I
what
did.
can work in your process because you just can't just slam someone with something and then think, okay, you can work with that. Nah. You have to be aware of everything, every aspect of a human being as it develops.
Oh
We got
yeah,
to hit some comments. Yeah, we got to hit some comments. This is from Ed KL. He's always joking. He says, you make your clients drop and give you push-ups. How many? Because you're a drill instructor. You're up drill instructor. Get down there, boy. Hey, good day, boy. Say, eat the floor, boy.
so I do. Well, we did a lot of push-ups this morning because I taught class this morning. And so we did quite a few push-ups. So if you ask any of them right now, I promise you they'll be mad with me because their arms hurt.
They're like that. I remember this movie, Full Metal Jacket. They're like that guy, the Joker did. Say, hey, coach. Say, he shoots the drill instructor. Here, we also one more question from our man. This from our man Kia says, what are the ways losing weight in terms of carbs? So, do you have different clients? All your clients are like wellness health clients and or mix of competitors too?
Yes, I did start this year was the first year, well, actually last year, end of last year was the first time that I've actually started taking bodybuilding clients, but lifestyle clients. But bodybuilding is more macronutrient based, right? My lifestyle clients are usually, I find I do a process of elimination with them in the beginning of understanding what their body can take and what it cannot. Making sure, because all my clients are different from males to females and and a various of age ranges. When it comes down to carbohydrates, for me personally, I have the carb cycle. My body loves carbs, but it stores them also very quickly. So I carb cycle consistently. So, 1, 2, 3 days on with carbs, and then my 4 or 5 days are off, or cut in half with very minimal. It really depends on the individual and what your body does with carbohydrates. One of my clients, their body loves carbs. I use basic complex carbs, right? You got your brown rice, you got your sweet potato, you got your quinoa, you got your couscous, you got your cream of rice, you got your oatmeal, things of that nature. Just really depends on how your body utilizes that. If your body uses carbs and you can burn through them, you got to know how many you need first and foremost, that we're not overeating. And we have to make sure that the work that you're doing inside the gym matches that. Once your body matches all the work, you're getting enough food, you're getting enough rest, you're getting enough water, you'll then start to understand what your body does with the particular macronutrients that your body needs daily in order to lose weight and build that solid and real muscle in real time.
That's the thing about carbs is probably some important parts of especially developers are athlete. I know sometimes you can't use too much carbs, especially when you're getting ready for a show. You
Yeah,
know,
carbs are cut during showtime. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because I know sometimes it affects your mind too because it's the sugar in the carbs, the glucose, so you lose that and you just go. I've
Don't
talked
talk
quite a
to
few.
me, Big Wig.
Yeah,
Don't talk to me, Big Wig. I am not your friend.
you feel like the Hulk. Like Hulk smash. Hulk hate bread, but Hulk love bread. So, folks, while we have here Coach Nisi here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into her social media for a bit, her IG. So if you want to follow her, or also if you're somebody interested in maybe working with her, she's working with people over 40 who like myself who might need them maybe that little extra push. Reach out to her with genuine interest. The links are in the description of the live stream. You can follow her, check her out, support her as an athlete. Also, this is a tough job being a bodybuilder and the coach. So, but it's no fish you see. I do this as a warning to guys out there. Guys, no the pics.
Same.
Stop it.
I
Get
don't get
some.
those. I get the invites and the dates, and I'm like, nah, we good. You know what I mean? Or I just ignore them. So, and I get the phone numbers, I get all that kind of stuff. So, but it's common. You always have it, but sometimes they're bots too. And so I just kind of just look over them. You know what I mean? I don't go back and forth with people on social media. I don't do that. The one thing I'm not going to do is go back. Okay. I'm going to go forth. And so I'm going to leave you right where you stand. So that's the person.
Yeah, that's the thing is, hey, guys are weird like that. People are just weird like that in general. But
Oh, yeah, for
folks,
sure.
this is a nice lady. Respect her, and like I said, don't do that shit. So we're gonna
Thank you
jump
so
into
much. I
her.
appreciate it.
Not a problem. I like to give this a warning. So we're gonna jump into her social media for a bit here. And this is when you say you got your pro card at North Americans. I'm or today I'm interviewing a lady who just also got her pro card in North Americas.
She did. That's my soror.
Yeah. Here's you. What was that feeling like when they told you you're now IFBB Pro?
I was nervous. My soror here, she was by me the entire time in this process. I was nervous. This is the best package that I have brought to the stage. I mean, I was peeled and dialed in more than I had ever. And when they called my name, I didn't know what place. I didn't hear the and new IFBB Figure Pro. I didn't hear that. Um, I didn't cry because I still didn't believe it. I still thought I had to go back out there and compete for it. Even when he brought me the orange card, I still did not believe it. Um, it wasn't surreal until I got back home. You know, it wasn't surreal until I got back home, but it was one of the best feelings I've ever had. When you've been told no so many times in your journey as an athlete, as a soldier, it's a part where like, well, dang, you finally made it, girl. You finally did it. So yeah, yeah, that's my yeah. so so it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a journey, especially being your mother, your wife. You served our country. I mean, you're coaching. There's a lot of time sacrifice you have to make. I know, that your family sometimes say, "Hey, baby, we don't spend enough time with you. What you doing?" Say, "Well, you got a job to do. You got responsibilities, especially to yourself and to your clients."
Yes.
Mhm. So, like I said, now that you now hit the pro stage, didn't you, Atlanta? What was that feeling like?
So I was very, very, very nervous because I see the pros. I see them. I watch every pro figure, every pro bodybuilder. My posing coach is a pro. She's been a pro for many, many years, Olympia winner. And I knew I had to bring my best. I had a lot going on personally in my personal life during my peak week. And so I wasn't at my best mentally. And that can damage the way you look and the way you feel. During peak week, my body was refusing to change. And I held more water than I should have. And I did not have the peak week that I knew I could have had. And so I was disappointed in myself with the package that I brought. My coach knew there were some things going on and we talked about it. We didn't beat ourselves up over it though. We said, you know what, this was just a showing. I got great feedback from the coaches, even though I know what I could bring. And so it was just important for me. I was really disappointed and disheartened at all the things that I brought. But my second show will definitely be much better going into next year. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the process, and sometimes there's so much things to sport where it can be mentally, physically, emotionally, financially draining. And sometimes you have those days where you get off. Here's this with your boy, and what's his name? How old is the boy?
My son is 17 years old. His name is
Uh,
Xavier. That's my
uh,
baby.
oh, that's your baby. You know the old saying, boy's best friend is his mother. And sees that he's about to graduate.
Absolutely.
He's gonna be a senior. Now he's gonna be. You think he's a man now? Nah, boy, you're not a man yet. You got some
Nah,
time to
well,
go.
he's a very well young man. My son has been the greatest thing that has ever again has happened to me. Um, my son and I have been through some things, and so he's smart. He's not in the streets. He's very focused. He's a track star, very respectable young man. He brings joy to my heart each and every day, and so my son is the highlight. I've only had maybe minor issues with my son, but when it comes down to making motherhood easy, this one here has made motherhood easy for me. um, yeah, he makes motherhood very easy for me.
Yeah, my mother, she had to raise the six of us after her and my father parted ways. They were still married legally, but he was living in another state. We were down here in North Carolina. And, I took care of my mother for about 6 years. If everybody knows me, I did it for at least 6 years, before she passed. And it's good to have a relationship, especially with your mother. That's the first woman you ever love. Wives and girlfriends come and go, but when you lose your mother, you can never get her back. So, yeah, it's good that, and like I said, this is a process for an athlete. Like, I would say like this: you have an amazing body, ma'am. I will, it's just me. I'm a muscle person small. I'm gonna make that about y'all ladies because I'm a fan of y'all ladies. I
Thank
respect,
you.
I really respect the work and commitment y'all put into this, especially in sport, and also to try to maintain a look of both the muscle and femininity.
Right, for sure.
Especially yeah, especially for a sport where most people see it because they always one thing I hear because some of the ladies I know I follow people have an issue with women with muscle where they
Yeah, I get it
say
all the time.
yeah go say well you're trying to be a man. See, here's the thing is this: she's not trying to be a man. She's an athlete. She's
Yeah.
working out. She's training. What's your problem? Why can't you do what she does? It be guys that look like me. And so they're not guys that just guys who look like this guy everyday Joe because it kind of offends their senses of what women should be. Like I said, my mother was strong. She had to raise six kids, took care of two or three grandkids, work, do this and do that. And next is the difference between the physical external strength is much the same as the internal strength.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Well,
we had
so here's the deal. I think that there's so many stigmas. I hear a lot of my clients all the time, I don't want all of that muscle. Well, baby, you can't get it genetically. You can't get it, unless you want to do other things, right? Genetically, I've always had muscle. My father is muscular. I listen. My mother told me I came out muscular, very heavy, very dense muscle. And so, but in addition to that, it was hard work and consistency. All my life, I've been an athlete. I've played almost every sport you can possibly thinking about, from the time I was 3 years old all the way up until now. I'm about to be 41 and I'm still cheering at my college homecoming. I'm still running track with my son. I'm still out here doing everything. So it's nothing that I don't do. I stay physically active because that's what life is about. However, when it comes down to men, some men are just simply intimidated by a woman who chooses to take care of herself. I understand where our generations come from, but there's certain things as a single mother who had to, raising her son, there's a certain level of strength you gotta have, that, just for you personally, to know that you can do things. I'm sorry, I don't want to be 60 years old and having to not be able to tie my shoes. I don't want to be 50 years old and I can't walk from one end of the driveway to the next without giving out of breath. No, I don't want to be 40 years old with aches and pains of a 90-year-old. No, I don't want to wake up with aches and pains that just out of nowhere. I don't want to be addicted to pills all of my life. Well, I'm sorry that that's your life that you want to choose. But for me in general, my health is more important. And it is a fact, scientific fact. I don't care where you read it from, what journal you read it from. It is better to have a low BMI and put on muscle mass for longevity versus having a higher BMI and higher fat. I don't want it. Okay. I don't want to have to depend on nobody to pick up anything for me, carry anything for me. Now, it's great if you do, he'll take a load off. But what I will not do is depend on somebody for the rest of my life. I'm not doing it. All right. If I need you, then great. Let me ask you. But I don't want to have to need anybody as I get older. I want it to be an option to need you.
okay. All right. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, I'm just shaking my head. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I mean, me, I made a choice when I took care of my mother because she needed me, because
Yeah,
I
for
loved
sure.
her. She
Absolutely.
needed me, and that's the thing. If you're a man, any real man, especially, it's just our nature to help a woman if we need to. I'm like, ma'am, I'm from the South like yourself. I'm a gentleman. So,
I'm not
yeah.
from.
So, hey, we got some comments here. This is from a man, KL. He says, hope you do well as a pro. It can be tough at times with the placement. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and also we have here, this is from the Clarence and Walker. So I'm not gonna say the rest of the name. Says, how many clients do you have currently? So what's your, like I said, like with the KL part, we mentioned how what was your placing at? Because I didn't see, because I didn't see the places for the figure division, because I concentrate more on women's bodybuilding and physique. But I'm trying to expand a little more into your division. That's why I'm doing interviews with y'all. What was your placing in? What was the critique from the judges?
So my first pro show, I just did second call out. So they don't give us a number. They don't say you place 11, 12, 13. So if you come in a second call out, you didn't place in the top 10. They just say your number, everybody's number 11. They don't give us one, right? So I just was in the second call out, which they do that because everybody worked hard to get to the stage and they don't want you to feel like, oh, well, you were dead last. No one knows who was last. And so the feedback from the head judge was, you just need to come in a lot leaner and a lot drier. Those were the only two. He said you have beautiful muscle mass, beautiful structure, but if you come in a lot leaner and a lot drier, you are going to be one to deal with on stage. Those were his exact words to me. And I took that and I ran. I told my coach, he said the same thing, saw the same thing, and it was absolutely amazing.
Hmm. And what's your load for your clients? Are you, like I said, you have a mix of clients who's trying to do better health. You have a mix of competitors. What's that load like for you?
So I have three competitors right now. I have three competitors, one wellness, and I have two that are in between figure and physique. Their bodies are doing the most right now in for physique for both of them. One, she's probably going to be physique due to some of her um some of her limitations. But my other lifestyle clients in general, I have a total of 57. 57, uh-huh. Most of them, 97% of them are virtual clients globally, worldwide. And so, but I talk to them just like here. I train them just like here. Many of my clients I've never met. And we are in the 1,500 pound club, right? So we were in the 1,000 pound club when we started in January. We are now in the 1,500 pound club now going into the next year. So we are working hard, focused, and just really out here just making it happen, changing one life at a time.
That's pretty good. I do a podcast called Most of Talk Mondays. I got a partner of mine. He's IFB Pro. We're gonna have a discussion. I might talk to you about it later, see if you have time, interest in taking part of it, because I always want to get a point of view from, especially from the competitors and from you women, and also to understand what is for a coach, especially for yourself, being you both a coach and competitor. So once we get things settled, I'll let you know and see if you have the time and you want to take part, because I would like to get your perspective of it. We have it from a man, Russ G. Russ, says good morning from South Carolina. Shout out to man Russ. He's a photographer. Did an interview with
Awesome.
Russ. He's a cool guy, great guy. He's a great brother. Thank you for coming through, brother. Also, this is from Clarence and Walker. He says social media sometimes can be great communication platform to encounter other people, but also it can be a cesspool of negative people that have nothing productive to do with their lives. Like that.
Oh,
Like basically sure there's a lot of haters, but like my man Suki Johnson said, from the Chappelle show, says, let them hate till they can't hate no more.
that's
Because
right.
that's all you can do. Because that's the thing, if that's all you have your time invested is hate on someone else doing, then you have nothing in your life. And like I said, somebody told me, God bless the haters, because you know what? They hate so much and we care so little. So
Absolutely. I could care less. I mean, you have no idea how many disgusting messages I get all the time about either being a woman. Oh, are you on this? Are you on that? I get, oh, you're not fit to be a coach, this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, you know what? If you only knew some of the things that I did within my personal life, you would know. All of my clients, I've out of the I've worked with over 700 women and men since I've been in business. I've only had maybe two or three that have walked away because of just personality differences. And guess what? I'm okay with that. Three out of 700, I am okay with that because there's something I'm doing right. I have been in business for going on 14 years. There's always going to be somebody who despises it. My thing is honesty. When my clients come to me, I'm going to tell them what I can and cannot do. I'm going to tell them what my limitations are. I overshare with my clients and I just ask them to be consistent. One of my clients asked me yesterday, she was like, Coach, I don't see anything happening in my journey. And I said, think about a chef. Think about a chef. A chef looks at maybe 3 to 5 ingredients and can see a masterpiece. But you look at yourself every single day and say you see nothing. But for me, I am the chef. I see those differences. I see everything. When you look at yourself in the mirror, everybody's not going to see what you see. But that's the reason why we're here as coaches. You understand? We're going to see what you don't because you got a visual about what you want to see. You understand? And so the thing is, let me do the work. I just need you to show up for you. I promise you I'll get you there, but you got to stop trying to do things for yourself. When you try to do it yourself, that's the reason why you're still seeing the same stuff because you're not listening to what it is you're not listening to the chef. You understand? And so a lot of people out here, just simply they want to do things themselves. I think that they got the answers. But listen, I get somebody to do my finances because that's not my ministry. I go to church because that's not my ministry. I don't preach. I go to the bank to put my money in because that's not my ministry. You understand? I buy a house because I don't want to go build mine. That's not my ministry. And so there's just a lot of people out here who want to have a lot to say about things that they don't do and they're not professionals in, but they want to have every comment in the world behind it. They need to check themselves and realize that if it's not your ministry, don't speak on it, baby, because oftentimes you probably couldn't do it as good anyway.
damn. Take a breath.
But I get that. I just get so frustrated with that because
I
negativity. I'm
know.
a very positive person every single day. It's more so, and it's not anger. It's just annoyance. That's really all it is. You understand? It's noise, dry noise. And I
Mhm.
don't understand where we get to this point of where we feel like we can have an opinion and bring people down in their journey. Did despise just hurt people because we want to hurt people. We can have an opinion, but if we're going to give an opinion, uplift one another. Let's help one another. Let's change one another's lives instead of trying to break each other down. There's enough of that going around. We've got enough negativity. So that's the reason why I responded that way, because I promote love. My clients come to me, they say, Coach, I went out and had 2 burgers, 2 fries, 2 sodas, and I also had a cheesecake. Okay, all right, you did it. Was it good? All right, no problem. Now, what are we going to do tomorrow? Let's fix it. It's not going to be no bashing. Oh, you know better. You shouldn't have ate that crap. No, let's figure this out. Why did you do it? Let's focus on it. Let's build instead of breaking each other down. So the thing is just that when people are so nasty towards one another, it just burns everything inside of me, because I speak joy, positivity, inclusivity, love, and just connection and building. That's the person I am. That's the type of coach I am. And that's the type of trainer I am. That's the type of first sergeant I am. That's the type of mother I am. You understand? And so I do everything with love, grace, and if I have to put some a little aggression on it, we do it, but not much. We don't need all of that, right? It's about building and helping someone rebuild their lives, not break it down.
I got you, Drew. Yeah, I got you, Drew. I because Fort Jackson. My niece did her. She finished her basic training in Fort Jackson. That's been like about 10 years ago. My niece and oldest nephew were both in the military, and like I said, that's why I salute y'all folks for sacrifice. I was thinking about joining myself. I even passed the AFAB, but then I don't know. I'm just my personality. I don't know. I'm not that type. But here we have it coming from Clarence and Walker. They say, so you are genetically gifted as an athlete. Natural born genetics from athletes usually will take you very far. And that's the thing, sometimes is that genetics, you can have the genetic gift, but sometimes hard work also is a factor. Because sometimes even hard, like one of my favorite quotes is from is an anime I used to watch, Naruto, where the boy says, he's a naturally gifted athlete, but I have hard work, and sometimes hard work can take you far.
Mhm.
Here we have here from my man KL. He's always saying this. It says, "I'm a hater with the lightsaber. Call me Darth Vader." He's my brother. I love him. He does content too. He's more of a fan of the muscle women, but we try to teach him about the overall parts. But hey, as I said,
For
I'm a
sure.
muscle person like him, but I'm learning. I get to learn a lot when I have conversation with y'all ladies about what it takes to be an athlete. And again, people need to understand that when women may come and say, I don't want muscles like yours, you have to work to get that muscle. You have to be
Mhm.
consistent. You have to follow a diet. You have to follow a plan. People always say, like, well, you always steroids. But here's the thing is, it's only a small factor to the sport.
Mhm.
If you don't train, stick to a regimen, eat healthy, follow a diet, work out regularly, just follow whatever your coach puts in front of you, where you can develop your body to the point where, yeah, you can get on stage and compete with some of the top level competitors. And, and when you're training, what's that thing you like the most when you're training? The thing you say, I don't want to do it today, but I know I got to do it.
My son is my driving force for everything. You'll hear me say that. Um, I don't give up. I'm not a quitter. There's so many things in my life that I have done that I wish I could redo, but I've never quit anything except once. And when you've been, um, a lot of your internal intestinal fortitude come from experiences. And I have never been the top tier because I didn't know how to. I didn't know what that looked like, what top tier athleticism looked like. And so every time you miss the mark on pieces and you're never good enough for something, you're never good enough for that space or this space. When you're in a space where you are the only predictor of that, that means that if I want to be competitive with vitamin C, I got the ability. I got the one of the best coaches. Now I just got to put in the work. That includes everything that's needed. So my son, every time that I don't want to get up in the morning time, I get up and I go. But my clients also, you know, everybody say professionalism, professionalism. I'm very professional with my clients because when they want something from me, they get it. Programs, meal plans, conversations, coaching sessions, all of that. But my clients root for me like their family. Like, I mean, when I tell you they ride for me, they ride for me. My clients, some of my clients have been with me for 10 years plus. And they look at me and they say, Nisi, you've got so much potential. And many of them have read my book, understood where I've come from. And they're like, you know what, coach, you got so much in you. You are going to make it to the top. And having that much support coming from someone who did not have that before changes everything. So my son, my clients, and also my family. So my son is going to include my mom too. My mom, my brother, my father, my family, number one. And then my clients who have become family. Like when you just got people riding for you, not pushing you to say, oh, well, you got to do it. No, do what's best for you. But I know that you have the capabilities to be your best. That right there is everything. Like that's my driving force. Getting up every morning, knowing that I still hear people, regardless if they text or call, Coach Nisi got this today. She's going to show up for herself. And even when I don't, they're like, all right, so what's happening tomorrow? They listen to me. So what are we going to do it tomorrow? So, my driving force is definitely, it's always going to be my son, my mother, my brother, like that's all I got,
Yeah, I appreciate that. As truthfully, like, some people don't understand when you get into sport. So you have family friends, and they say, "What's this thing about?" And they just sometimes they don't know the whole details of bodybuilding because it's just not as well known. But the question I want to ask is, what the body part you really have to work on? But yeah, I use that. I like the other stuff too. That's pretty good. Thank you for that. So, like the thing, like after, like I know, like after the critique, what's the things you need to fix now? You get into your prep for next year. The things
my
that you
core,
need.
my core, and coming in with a fuller back, my core and my fuller back. Yep.
Yeah, because I think with y'all girls in figure, y'all have to need the wider shoulders, the capped, wider back, cap shoulders.
Great. It's the back. It's the formation of the back. So I have beautiful rounded shoulders. They said don't make them any bigger, or else I'm going to go into another division. My shoulders are great. It's going to be more so my back and my. I'll just actually say my lower half too because my quads have a hard time separating, especially during peak week. We're trying to figure out what that looks like. But my quads for sure and my core. We're going to bring in a tighter waistline. I made mistakes years ago and I have a wide waistline. So it's going to take me a little bit longer to shake that down, bring it down, and get my body back into that shape, that particular, the Dorito shape that I had when I got my pro card.
Yeah, and you mentioned vitamin C. That is Mrs. Sydney Gillen, right? Is
I
that
love
your
her.
post? Is that your posing coach?
She is not. Sharonica Hinton, who placed number 3
Three.
in
Wow,
the
wow.
she placed number 3 in the whole wide world. Let me make sure I say that.
Yeah.
Okay. She is my
Correct.
coach.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
I'm a fan of
my
Miss
girl.
Hinton. I've been in contact with her. I hope maybe something I get to do an interview with. I know she interviewed with a couple people I follow. And maybe something to get on my channel. I know I'm just like to get my hands on her. But congratulations on her and her fiance Chris and their engagement. I hope they were in Vegas and I will get married there. That's the marriage, the wedding city. Yeah, those are amazing people. I mean, with now Sid stepping away, and that's I think it's going to change the landscape of division. I watched Olympia. She's
Yeah, I did
amazing
too.
physique. She works with one of my. She's also the posing coach of one of my favorite people of all time. I just love her. That is Andrea Shaw.
Oh my gosh. I
I
love
know. I'm
Miss
a simp.
Beautiful.
I'm a sip over her. Kale's gonna hate me on this because let him hate. Because they hate you. Because a while back, a friend of mine was at the Olympia last year, and she got this issue for me. And what made this so, and I'd love to bring this out because this is my pride and joy. She signed it for me.
I see it.
I love you, Andrea. I know. I used to do a thing like to talk about I got a homeboy, a man named Keith. He knows her. He met her a few times. They well. I used to pick on Bob, but I don't do it anymore because shot my man Big Keith. He may return after what he went through hell to get back to the stage, and I
Yeah,
don't do it anymore. But she is just. Did you watch the Olympia?
I did every bit of it.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it? 'Cause we get a critique where we feel like some people should have placed a little better. Some people, especially, I think like one point is like this one lady who competes in figure. Her name is Manon. I think she's moved over to physique because to figure division, y'all ladies are looking more like how when physique first started.
Hmm.
Even some of you ladies even surpass the level of people like maybe Judy Montecani or Daleen Bailey, or I know a friend of mine just did an interview with her, Danny Weirden. She was a
Hmm.
top level competitor. Is anybody you follow in the sport that you're a big fan of?
Oh man, you know what? In all honesty, as a new competitor, I am, and as a new pro, I am a fan of everyone, honestly, right? Because it's a lot in bodybuilding. Um, it's a lot to get here. You know what I mean? If you got that pro card, I don't care if there was one person in your category. You worked hard to get here because prep is not easy. But when you talk about some of my favorites, Sharonica, she's been one of my favorites for a very long time. You talk about Zenobia. Zenobia, I mean, one of the best physiques I've ever like. She just stayed small, waistline, beautiful shoulders, beautiful back all year round. The same thing with Sid, very beautiful, small taper. You have Jessica, I love Jessica Padilla, Natalia, I and even Lopez. I love them all. Like I could go down the list of them. But what I will say, as a competitor, the one thing that we don't know is what the judges are looking for. And I go by the critiques of what the judges tell me to do. I usually see the same judges throughout my prep, my competition season. And one of the things that I've learned not to do is to say, oh, someone should have placed better or someone should have not. I leave that to the civilians, those who are not bodybuilders, because I never know what the judges are looking for. I just go simply by what the judges have told me I need to do. Because every year, based on who wins the Olympia, it's usually their eye and what they're looking for in certain areas. Every judge will come in with their own details. Now, do I think it should be a little bit more constructed? I think we all do, right? Maybe come in with something that's plausible. But Sid is the best. You know what I'm saying? I think her name who won in physique, they're the best. Everybody who won this year at the Olympia, that's who you should be focused on, right? What they look like, not mimicking their body, but they're what they got. Full delts, full cap, full glutes, nice striated quads, whatever their design was, right? That was top five. That's who you should be looking at. And so, for me, I stay away from saying, oh, the judges should have done this, only because we never know what the judges are looking for. That's not our job. And so for me, I focus on me building, restructuring, and getting to where I need to go and fixing those little minor details and getting better, 1% better every time I step on the stage.
Yeah. Well, as a civilian, yes, I'm going to critique the judges, but from some people I
And
talk,
you
so,
can, and
yeah,
that's your business.
yeah, that's my business. And this is my job because I do content on you ladies.
Yes.
Often, like I say, I talk to the ladies. They also have the critique. So sometimes I think that what it is, the criteria keeps changing in each and every division every other year. Like when bodybuilding started out with just the men, then the women came along. Then here comes fitness. Here comes figure. Here comes 212. Here comes men's classic. Here comes bikini. Here comes wellness. Because they were trying to find divisions to work with everybody's body types. But
Absolutely.
but when you look at you have a girl who might possibly go up to women's physique, and you see some women might go up to women's bodybuilding. You just the thing is the criteria should stick with what they started with. And I know you have to adapt and change with the athletes, and that's the thing is that's why I think y'all women get more hammered compared to the men. The
Oh
guys
yeah.
get as big as a Big Ramy or as Samson Dua or as Derek Lungford or Brandon Ray. They can get as big as they want, but y'all women have to stay within
We
confines.
do. We
And
do. My God.
that's unfair double standard. But that's the thing is society is going to give y'all women the double standard. Here we have here. This is from my man's Clarence and Walker. Shout out to them. He says, "I feel your passion, Miss Ewing. Love your sincerity and honesty. God bless you, sister." Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Also, sorry, this is from my man Kale, and one he says, "You do a little psychology behind why people eat certain food." Yeah,
I
and
do.
the thing is, food is part of the process, but sometimes it's the right food. Like I know after your last show and everybody has that desire, because you've been on diet, you've been prepping, and it's calling you. Sometimes those things that make you stranger make you stronger. So tell me, let me see, tell me, share me, what was that thing you wanted, the thing you desired the most?
So wings, French fries, and a donut. That's it. Wings, fries, and a donut. I got wings. I got 10 wings, fried hard, lemon pepper. I don't do too many, but fried hard. I didn't even eat all 10. I only ate five. Um, Large order of French fries. I don't do condiments. Never really like ketchup. And I got a donut. Actually, I had three donuts. My One of my clients came to my room and brought me fresh donuts, and I ate three of them right there before I even ate food.
You should have went over to Sheena Olick, and I interviewed Sheena before, and I've met her when I was in Savannah. She is a donut freak, so she loves donut. If you follow Sheena, she's a donut freak. One time, while I was at Savannah, we were talking, and she was like, just she just got off the stage for prejudging. I said, well, here's Snickers, you can have that. I give it to her because But yeah, that is the thing about the food. I mean, everybody has their favorites. I have heard, the typical is usually like burger and fries, pizza. I mean, but that thing is it's just a little joys you have every now and then. Also, I know your coach he puts a refeed or is you sometimes call a cheat meal in your
Refeed.
process because call it some people call it cheat meal. It's a refeed. That's what it is. But you know how it is. The sayings. And it's the good thing that you get the chance to enjoy that food a little bit, but it's not an important part
Mm-mm.
of your diet, but it's necessary. I know you got a teenage boy; he ain't gonna be eating what you eat all the time. He's a growing boy. I know he's talking about, hey, yo, folks, the sergeants come here, fry those hot wings hard, not just
So
hard,
my
hard.
son, my son eats just like I do. My son is a track star. My son is a track athlete, and I am so grateful. So grateful. My son eats similar to how I eat. So he doesn't eat as many, but my son does not like a lot of fried food. He does not do a lot of sugars. He might want some M&Ms or a cinnamon roll every now and then. But my son is very strict on his nutrition because he wants to be the best at where he's at. He doesn't like to feel heavy. He doesn't like to be uncomfortable in his clothes. He doesn't like to feel full. And this is something that started when he was younger. He did not like a lot of food on his plate. Don't put a lot. Let him ask for seconds because sometimes if he didn't want it, he wasn't going to eat it. And my rule was, if I put it on your plate, you're going to eat it. And so he would eat it, and he was like, "Mom, I'm full." I'm like, "Are you sure?" So my baby is not a big eater, not at all. So
Mhm.
I am grateful that my I don't have to do a lot of deviation when I cook for him. My baby eats good.
That's good. That's good that he's still a grown boy, but it's good that he's a smart young
He
man.
eat. I didn't say he can. He can eat now. He eats me out of house and home. Anybody want to donate? Listen,
Like I
I'm
said,
all for it.
my mom had to raise 6 kids plus us, and she had 3 boys and plus 2 grandsons to raise. I can tell you from experience, I don't eat like as much like I used to. It kind of sticks in a certain area. But yeah, we have here from man, Clarence. He says Lola Montez is my favorite. I like her too. I think
Oh
she
yeah,
has
she's
great physique,
gorgeous.
beautiful
She's
physique.
gorgeous.
I
Lois,
wonder if what she needs now that with uh with Sid gone, what would she need to get to that spot? Because you got Monica Reyes. I'm sorry, Jessica just did a show last week. She's
Hurricane.
already qualified. Yeah, Hurricane Pro. To me, I'm like, person like this. You're already qualified. You're number 2 behind the champ. You're just taking up spots and space from other people.
So there's reasons behind that. So I've done my research, and I've talked to A lot of pros who used to go back in the day, and that's what they do. They go to the bigger shows to get in front of the eyes. Jessica probably will not do any more shows. She may do about maybe 2 or 3 more before the Olympia, but you have to still get in front of the judges. That's the only reason why I came out this year. You want to get in front of the judges and still make them remember your name. Yeah, they know they watched the Olympia, they know who you are, but they want to see your progress. So, how did she come off the Olympia stage? What happened after the Olympia? So, did she get drier? Did she lean out a little bit more? Did her body fill out, her muscularity come through a little bit more? There's so much detail. And that's one of the reasons why, again, I stay away from the critiques, because just listening to various people, when they go on stage, your body changes. Because I promise you, the way that I showed up on stage is not how I looked the next day. I was a lot leaner. That water had come off. I mean, I needed to go back on stage because I would have done very well. But my body didn't catch up with all the stress that I had been through. And so for competitors, they just want to make sure that we stay in front of the judges' eyes. We want to make sure they never forget our name, because if they forget your name, it's not to say that they're gonna judge unfairly. I would not say that, because that would be unfair to say, but they are definitely going to, they'll be like, oh, okay, you got to work for your spot. If you've been out the game 3-4 years and you don't come back with a great package, you got to work for that top 10 slot. You got to put in the work and show that you can come back and do, So I think that for whatever her critique was, I know Lola's going to come back with it. I know, Jessica's going to come back even better, and she might be the top one. Lola might be the top one. It might be somebody new, but you got to stay in front of the judges' eyes. You've got to. You got to make sure they never forget you and they can see your progress. Because one judge, she has been at every freaking show that I had. I won't say her name. And she gave me hell. Every feedback. I would place second. I would place third. And it would frustrate me. And I asked my coach, I said, Coach, I just don't think this judge likes me. And my coach, my opposing coach, Sharonica, was very well versed with her, know who she is, told me some things about what she's doing. She actually goes back and reviews her notes of who you are. She actually follows you and understands you. And so she sees your progress and where you started from your last show to now. She's going to be basing her feedback off of where you should be if your body was one space and now it's gone into the other. So she said, be patient, Nisi. I promise you. She's following you. Every time she critiques you, it's fair, because it's going to be based off of the package you brought last. Especially those who are coming back. I was like, well, damn, okay, can I get a little break here? Nah, because she told me something backstage and it didn't resonate until I got my pro card. She was telling me that where I'm going, I needed to do something, and it didn't click until I said it about 25 times in the back, talking to my coach, crying. Coach, I didn't make it. I didn't make it. And he's like, calm down. And so what I will say is that judges, they see you, you get in front of them, they're going to remember what your last package was. And your representation means everything. So if you come in there nice and tight, definitely they're going to remember what you look like and how your body could be progressing going forward.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's a progress as this sport, and to quote one of my favorite, I'm a big movie buff. I love quoting movies because this is one from the Batman Begins series. Beware surrounds of all times. Never give a shield fooling for a killing below. And that's the thing you have to know, understand. Sometimes people might not like what the coaches are saying because you feel it's getting to it too much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then you got to take your feelings out of it and use your rational mind. That's the thing that separates humans from animals. We have a rational mind, but we're emotional creatures also. And sometimes critiques are good. I know one lady, she said in an interview that she doesn't get the judges' critiques. I understand. She's done pretty good. She did a couple of shows. She was able to crack the top 10 at the Olympia, but then she did a show, Texas Pro, where she was like next to in the top 10, but not as high in fifth place. she has a great physique. I'm a fan of hers. I was, and I think that thing is that sometimes the critique does help us. It's all depending on where you get it from. We have here a comment from my man Clarence. Uh, he says, I saw the mug you drinking. You have a Dallas Cowboys logo on it. You a Dallas Cowboy fan? You a Cowboy fan?
And so before I decide to click off, don't you dare say anything. All right. Yes, I am. I have been since the age of 3 years old. You better fix your face. You better close it up. Yes, I am. I am a very proud Dallas Cowboy fan. Absolutely. I am a very sane Dallas Cowboys fan. They don't look like nothing right now. So I'm with you. I get it. But if you say something negative, it's gonna be me and you.
You know what? You know what? I don't like fighting women. I don't like fighting women, especially a pretty woman too. So I'm gonna forgive myself. Yes, I'm gonna let it go. Especially when he usually had Tony Homo as their quarterback.
I ain't like him either.
Yeah, so this is it for man. Uh, Clarence says, fried chicken is my gluten weakness, and Krispy Kreme donuts a sugar sin that I'm working hard not craving. Yeah, I can tell you sometimes, like today, yesterday, me, my nephew, and my sister, we did some laundry, and we went to a Chinese restaurant that's like next town over. And we had a big plate. Just I finished up the rest of it last night. Just Chinese food. I'm a Chinese loving whore, so I'm gonna admit that. But yeah, but it's just like I said, for y'all women, it's a lot to be a competitor.
It is.
Especially not just worry about the stuff of the prejudice of people with women with muscle, but also the expense as a competitor because it costs y'all ladies more to compete compared to the men.
It does.
Y'all ladies have to pay not just the cost of the travel costs, your coaches costs, your everything that goes involved in going to the shows, then the hair, the makeup, the pose suit right there alone. That's your rent, that's a mortgage, that's a car note. And I wish, as I said again, as a fan of this sport, especially of you ladies, because I don't do a lot of content with the guys. As I call them, the banana hammocks and board shorts, because they always get the money and the attention. I don't do much content on. I've done a couple interviews. I even this was a week ago. I got to interview my first wellness competitor. I've interviewed some ladies, wellness pro. I some ladies who do double dip both from wellness and bikinis, amateurs, and I've interviewed a couple of bikini competitors as pros. But with y'all ladies, it's a lot to this sport and the expense and the cost and that goes into it. And one thing I wish, like the prize money was a little better. I think a lady who I know, I met her a while back. She competed at the Atlanta. She's third. I think she got $1,000 for I think third place, Melissa Guerrero, and $4,000 for wellness. But then you got to look at it. You ladies walking with $2,000, $3,000 a show, and that's just barely cover your cost.
I said that as well. When I saw what Mr. Olympia got versus what Miss Olympia got. I mean, but I you have to remember this is again, there's a lot that goes behind it. There's a lot of reasons behind it. It was originally an all male sport before, you had the Linda Murray, to come in and bring the forefront to the women, and being, very proud in the building of bodybuilding for women. And so, the more and more, I think the longer we continue to fight for just that and come and show that, listen, we can do the same things. We can come out here and give you a great show just like the men, right? And we understand the dynamics of bodybuilding, but I have a lot to say when it comes to women's rights, women's stigmas, the things that go along with it. But you have so many men that say, well, we do too. We are too. And I get it. I don't take anything from that. I respect men and what they do, the responsibilities of it. But, we women too, we work hard. There are some of us who truly deserve that same amount of accolade and attention. And it's not like we're trying to take the shine from you. We're not trying to do your job. We're not trying to become Mr. Olympia. We still want to become Miss Olympia, but with the same benefits. So that's a sensitive topic. I won't dig too deep in, but yeah, it is definitely a costly job. But I start saving right at the end of my season. I start putting money away so that I don't have to borrow or do a fundraiser. I don't have to do any of that. So, I just start saving my little money, work hard with my clients, and being able to pay for things as I go. I identify the shows, how much it's going to cost me, what do I need. I usually wear my suits maybe twice, maybe three times, if that. I usually don't like to show the same suit based on how I show up, and the suits are even expensive. Our suits run roughly around eight to some will get a 5,000 one, but I don't. My most expensive has been 1,200. Um, but yeah, so just depends. But I start saving to do this, and because it's an investment in yourself. If you really want to get into bodybuilding, you have to pay for the sport, and so I just save and work hard throughout the years. So when it comes time for my first show, again, I ain't got a big borrow, steal, ask, sell nothing, do nothing strange for no change, and we go from there.
Yeah, I understand. Like you don't want to, beg from Peter to borrow from Paul,
Right? I don't want
and
rob Peter to
yeah,
pay Paul. I don't want to do that.
yeah, yeah. And I know a lot of ladies that do the GoFundmes because some it's a hit or miss with that because
Some
I'm doing a
competitors,
go yeah 'cause I'm doing a GoFundMe because I'm thinking about going to another show. I'm thinking about going to Atlanta because my oldest niece, she lives up there. I can stay with her, save me the cost of she can come get her old uncle because when I missed my train back to North Carolina for Savannah, she lives in Atlanta. She came like 3 miles, come pick me up, her old uncle, and take me
that
back home. I appreciate that. She told me I could stay with her. That saved me cost of a hotel, and saved me cost of ticket. She comes out here about every other month or so, check out her mother, my sister,
awesome.
and I just said, what, let me do a GoFundMe. See, like, I might get a few bucks. He would follow me, help me out. I'm trying to save a little bit. I got a car in the shop right now. It's been in the car shop for most of the first of the year. I want to get it back, but the guy keeps saying there's problems with it. I live in the country. I need a car, but it can't even back up anymore. So I just got to park in a certain way so I can move out. But yeah, that's the thing is you have to sit down and say, like, what do I need? Most of you need your food. Most of you need this. You got to pay your coach. You got to sit down. You got to sit down and write down everything you need and make sure you have enough. And you can save a little to the side for your necessities, especially for your posing suit, your hair, your makeup, your jewelry, the tanning, everything that's part of the process. One thing I wish that more sponsors step up and sponsor you athletes. I know everybody's gonna go with the Sarah Vilgas because Sarah, she's just pretty good. She flies a year jet every year to the Olympia. Um, I would say sponsorship would help, but most companies gonna go with the bikini wellness because it's so cute and petite,
No, it's
and
hard. They want you to have a good following. That's why social media is important. They want you to have a good following. They want you to have over, 175,000 followers. They want you to have this. They want you to have that. And it's difficult to get sponsorships. I've applied for quite a few of them. I don't qualify because I'm not popular enough. I don't have enough following. I didn't do too well in the show. I was taking call outs. I don't look good to be on the platform. So, it's a little intimidating. And then also too, when you put your links down in social media, they'll flag them. Social media is against you too at times because when you start putting your links and saying, hey, if you want this, use this code, use that, they'll drop down your views, they'll do this, they'll do that. So I mean, it's difficult. For me, I'm like this. You want to sponsor me, you see me, you come for me. I'll keep applying. You know what I mean? Because in all honesty, the deal is that if they want you, they're going to come after you. I mean, you say, hey, you look great. I love your social media presence. I love what you're doing. And we would like to offer you. And I don't want to sound bougie. I'm not. But if you keep showing up and you're doing this, oh, we give you 10% off, you make no commission. Oh, we'll give you 3% off, no commission. And it's like, they want your notoriety. They want you to sell their product. And you're like begging them for that sponsorship. You got to do all types of stuff. I would love them. And I'm going to do my best whenever I do get a sponsorship. But, if you want me and you see me, let's go for it. I'll be the best ambassador you have.
that's the thing is that's good that but sometimes you get these guys like, hey Nisi, I saw your last interview, if I do something for you, no, those guys you don't want. You want someone that says, um, Coach Ewing, we are interested in you. We like your passion. You like the person you are. You serve your country, your mother, your coach, and a friend. And we generally want people like you. I know everybody wants to go who's popular, but we respect who you are as a woman, as an
Mhm.
athlete. You, as they say, you have your boots in the ground, 10 toes down. And this is what we need in the sport. We're not gonna. Some of these people they buy their followers. You know, that's not
Yeah,
the
and I don't
same
want to
as
do that. I want them organically so that they
yeah.
actually enter, that they like the content. You know, again, I'm very, very popular on TikTok. My clients there love me. They and the deal is that I'm just authentic. I can have the same. I usually have around 30 to about 70 in my room every single day, and usually they're the same people. But I've got over 20,000 followers and supporters there. You know that I don't like the word followers. I like supporters. That's what they are, and we have a good time teaching classes, doing our fitness, and answering questions because I'm a human. And so it's not just a poster. I don't want to feed into your feelings. I don't want to feed into that social media, having to give you a sob story every time I come up there. No, I want to be who I am, authentic. And that's the reason why, when I go there, they support me to no end because of that purpose. I'm just who I am, authentically 100 me, 100% every single day. I show up as myself, and that's good enough for them. I don't come as anybody else. And
Hmm.
I don't try to imitate that. I don't play on their feelings, what their desires are. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe in just showing up as myself. And if you like me for that, boom, we're doing good.
Yeah, best way to quote the great late Barry Mack: if people don't like who you are, fuck them. That's it. That's the best quote. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Okay.
can go with that.
Yeah. Here we got a comment from man. Shout out to my man. Clarence. He says this. He says, "I'm originally from Texas, but now I live in New Jersey." He also says, he says, "I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan too, Nisi. So no problems here, my sister." Thank you, brother. I'm not a fan of them, so I'm not. I just say, but make he says, I says, I don't watch football well since the Super Bowl of last year. Yeah, that's your choice. Also, we have here from my man Clarence says, I grew up with the great legends Sergio Olivia, Frank Zane, Lee Barada, uh, Bob Paris, Robbie Robinson, Franco
Yep.
Colombo, Lou Ferrigno, Arlu. That's from the Pumping Iron, and also Lee Haney, Mr. Eight time, Mr. Olympia. Yeah, I grew up watching some of those guys, Lee Haney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnold, and I like all the movies, but I don't like him as per se what he's done, especially against women's bodybuilding. He does not have women's bodybuilding physique or figure eight shows. Not a fan of that. I still like his movies, but I don't like him. Where I heard stuff from him from people doing this content, he's an asshole. So let's move on from that. Also, this is from a man, Clarence. He says, the women's bodybuilders I saw and was impressed back in the day that I remembered was Corey Everson, Angela Langer, Jackie Presley, Beth Francis, Linda Murray, uh, Ray Howlett, and Sheely Beatty. Yeah, I remember those ladies.
So,
The
yep,
late
I
Sheely
remember them
Beatty, she
too.
passed away. Beth
Beautiful.
Francis, can't forget Carla Dunlap, can't forget one of my favorites is Vicky Gates. Laura Craven. They were so beautiful. I like to say, I love my black woman with muscle. Y'all just beautiful. He's just beautiful. Sometimes you bring that guy out of me. He can't help himself. He's so large. He's like a dog chasing cars. You'll never know what to do if you catch one. And before I leave, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful. I'm sorry, he had to come out. He was begging to come out. You can let your eyes go. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He was begging to come out. He had to come. I don't mean to scare, but he's a part of me. He completes me. But yeah, there's a lot to the sport that people need to understand. There's a little for I would say like this, not as much reward as it is risk. And I would say like this: IFBB and PC should support their athletes. We don't come to see, who's the judge, who's the promoter. We don't come see Bob Ciccarello, or I call him Bobby Chick. We don't come to see them. We come see y'all.
Hmm.
And I think there should be more incentive. Like I said again, you got to pay $200 a year for a pro card every
No,
year just to
no,
renew.
three. It's 300.
What, three? My
Yeah.
man just got his. He got his. His was, I think, maybe because he's been in the game longer. His was 275.
No,
Well,
mine was
dang.
300.
Then if you do masters, you got paid for that. I'm
Yes,
talking to a friend of mine. She's planning on doing masters, so she do the try to get to the Masters Olympia. I mean,
my goal
I
is to do masters, but yes, masters you have to pay for the shows for when you do masters. If you do open, it's free, but yeah.
mhm. Yeah, because I know some ladies can double dip. You can cross over from physique to women's bodybuilding, in masters. That's easy because you're paying for that division. You know, um, I would say this: if this is one thing IBB should do, NPC should do for their athletes, especially amateurs, have some kind of incentive for y'all. Like, okay,
For sure, for especially for amateurs, yeah.
like, okay, if something happens, you have, like, as an amateur, you get your money back if you do a regional show that helps you out,
Yes.
because you paid your interest fee.
I,
Benefits and stuff, like anything, even though this is not like a mainstream sport, like professional athletes, they have a union, and that's the thing is people don't want to. You get union change, I don't think, but that thing, you get together, you sit down with the owners, with the competitors, with the judges, and see where you want to go with the sport. Get everybody's point of view, because everybody's involved in this, building this sport. We want to hear suggestions, we want to hear ideas, we want to get back and forth, and also benefits. Like, you have a son, you never know something happening with you. You might need to take care of him when you're not in good
oh
shape and
yeah.
condition. There's things that need, because like I said again, you are an athlete. It's not like it's not the same if you were like playing in the NFL or playing in the WNBA or playing soccer, but still. And one thing I wish could happen, if more of the mainstream companies will get involved with, but they're always going to use that excuse of steroids. But you're a sponsor an athlete, you know who's using steroids, but because you can turn that blind eye to athlete, because it's so more obvious to see it with bodybuilding is and with other sports. But
Mhm.
you can't tell the difference sometimes. It's just about what you take and how you use.
Yeah. And so but here's where I'll say this. It's just like if you look at college athletes are just now getting paid, right? Of course, football players, they're just now being able to get funded or get incentive. But let's use back when I was in college. College athletes that didn't get paid. We played sports for free. Everybody come out. Don't matter if we had a full stadium, a full gym, whether we had a full coliseum, wherever we were playing, CIAA, MEAC, SWAC, all of that. We would, no matter, we didn't get paid for it, right? And so I think that with any sport, there has to be a level of work, hard work. And that's one of the reasons why, you have to put in the work for those incentives. You got to invest in yourself to get on stage. And they want to see what that looks like now. That's the reason why we do get certain incentives as a pro. You do get to come to the shows for free. You can do as many as you want. If you want to do masters, and that's when you pay, right? Because now you're in two categories. I think, which is fair. You pay now a little bit more for your pro card. In addition to that, the financial incentive at the end. So I look at it like this: every sport has to start from somewhere. And if you want to, if, and I think they also recognize that there are people who get on stage one time. I've seen it. I went to a show before I turned pro, and this lady got on stage, and it was nothing but a get back at her husband because she found him with the nanny. That's all. She made this big transformation, hired a coach. And the only reason why she got on stage, look, I mean, she looked great. She won. She did amazing, but she never did it again. Never again. So she had to won that incentive, won that spot in nationals. She would have taken it from somebody, with an incentive, giving money to someone. But the only reason when they asked her, "How do you feel?" and she said her husband's name on stage and said, "How do you feel now, buddy?" Like and he was like, "What do you mean?" "I found my husband with the nanny." That was her only reason, and she looked darn good. And so I think that they recognize that there is some vanity pieces also in bodybuilding where people said, "Oh, I just want to lose weight. Oh, I just want to change my life. I just want to get on stage one time. This has always been a dream." It's not a real sport for some people. They're utilizing it for their vanity. "Oh, I want to get real small and skinny, and I want to see how small I can get." They're not doing it for the competitive side. And so I think if you're going to invest, you're going to put yourself through this. They really want to see what you're going to put in. And I think it's fair. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's fair, to some extent. that you know you got to put in the work and you got to show that you really want to be there. I agree with the incentives, maybe a little bit more that they could do for NPC, but you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work to show that you want to be pro. You got to be willing to, you know, to go further and do what you need to do. So yeah.
Yeah, because I understand. Yeah, I said it because somebody they do this for the love of it. But I think, like I said, maybe I think if there was a little bit more love for them, as much as they put love in it, I think it's fair. So yeah, we have a comment here from a man. Warrior, sorry, K. Ellie says 300 for a pro car. That's nearly my paycheck. Yeah, that's not going to pay much. And also, he says I couldn't be a bodybuilder. Do you ever educate regular people who doesn't know about bodybuilding.
Oh yeah.
He needs,
Oh yeah, absolutely. My clients go on the journey with me. Every show they go on the journey with me. They see my good, my bad, my ups, my downs. They're part of my journey. They see the foods that I'm eating consistently. They see how my body's changing because my clients will say, "Coach, you're getting real small over there." You know, they'll tell me they know when peak week is coming. So yes, I do educate my clients who are not bodybuilders on my journey. I take them from beginning to end. Now, there are some who are not interested. I have my own personal app and where I bring all my clients in and I ask who wants to be a part of that journey, who wants to see me go through the process, who wants to see my check-in photos. I show them that process of what my body looks like and I take them through that step by step. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good thing. You like to know what because, like I said, some people don't understand this sport, and sometimes I've had ladies tell me they lost friendships, family. Especially especially if your mother say, "Sweetheart, I don't want you to get so muscular like a man. I had a
Oh, mama
little
tells me that all
girl."
the time.
Yeah, I know. Lady I interviewed a while back. Her mother, they don't talk about the vitamin stuff. Her dad would come to show, root for her. Her mother's like, she's like, darling, I want you to be happy, be married, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you gotta live your life for yourself. You can never live for somebody else. That's the thing is, that's the problem is that was the problem with that lady. She should live her life for herself. Enjoy the process.
Oh,
Enjoy
absolutely. Not be
competing.
stressful.
You know, forget him. If he's gonna sleep with some girl, we probably end up, jumping on some dude who looks like Tyson Beckford and leaving you. That's on you. You stupid. Sometimes these young girls say, yeah, you better stick with the woman that took you to the game. Here we got here from my man Kale. He says, WNBA don't get much either. Look at Angel Reese. She isn't happy with what she gets in her salary. But the thing with that is that it's sponsors. Most of these athletes, like Michael Jordan, he made his money more from his sponsorships, from like with Gatorade and Ballpark and Hanes like that. And that's why some of the ladies in WA will go play overseas.
That's right.
And,
Because they
and
make
people
more money.
don't, yeah, and people don't watch women's basketball as much as men because it's not as the women do a pretty good job. I couldn't hang with them, but it's just not as entertaining compared to men. That's thinking. But I would say like this: they could bring them up a little bit. It doesn't hurt. It helps them, get them up a little bit. So, folks, we're not going to hold the coach too long. I know she's a busy lady. She got a busy day. So that. I enjoy she take out time and talk with me. I enjoyed when I talked to a woman like this who's very passionate, who just loves what she does. Because you got to love this sport and
Yeah.
you get education from everybody when I do these interviews. So we're gonna knock a home list. We're gonna say this. We're gonna ask you one more question. Say, what would you want out of bodybuilding as a whole for yourself?
You know, for me, bodybuilding has given me a space to learn to love myself, a lot more. It allows me to see that I have the ability to change. I can't ask anything from the sport. I can only ask myself to give to the sport because it's going to look different for everybody. I want to leave a legacy, right? Miss Olympia left a legacy of truly showing what dedication looks like and really following your journey, being passionate about something. For me, I want to leave a legacy of showing you what it's like when you're learning your body on what it can actually do, get it to its infinite levels. Because some of us are working a lot harder. Some of us are having to do different things. Some of us are having to strategically do things. Miss Olympia is older than I am. I mean, is younger than I am. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I'm a 40-year-old woman here trying to make it there. I want to be able to show women my age that it's possible, that if you love yourself enough and you're able to change those characteristics, discipline, mental agility, you have that intestinal fortitude, that consistency, that drive. If you really want to change and get to that spot, you can. So my goal is to make sure that I'm adding something to the world of bodybuilding and leaving a legacy for any woman who wants to change their bodies and their mind, because I've become a better woman in general, learning to love me a lot more at my heavier stages and also too at my leanest stages, and knowing what right looks like. And so bodybuilding can't do anything for me. I know that I can bring something to bodybuilding.
Well, she mean it, folks. I mean, if you are serious about this sport, I respect that. Folks, so again, if you're interested in reaching out to Coach Nisi, her links are in the description of the live stream here. If you are someone who's maybe just looking to change your lifestyle and get healthier, if you're a competitor, looking for a coach, I think some people like coaching is one of the process as an athlete as you go along in your process. But you know, folks, understand when you get to a sport, don't get into it half-heartedly. Come in fully understanding what you get involved in. Understand that this, as I said again, is emotional, financial, physical, psychological draining sport. There's so much that you need to understand. Don't come in here thinking like, I'm going to pop some steroids. I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger live for it. No, I'm going to be the Hulk. No, that's not how it is. I have people told me, who say that, George, if some people out there take the shit I took to get ready, they wouldn't be able to do this. It's not enough. Here we got here my man KL. He's from New York. He's a New Yorker. He says, shout out to the New York Liberty. Shout out to them. Yeah, he's from New York. So and yeah, actually, we respect what you ladies do. That's why I do this content, because you know what, y'all need a voice, and not that many people give y'all no voice unless you are the top-notch competitors. Unless you are, the men's division is I say like this: the men's division is the bottom bitch. It's always bringing money for the IFBB. But the fact is, y'all ladies put it just as much to work. Women and men are always going to be different, especially physically aspects and everything. But y'all ladies need just as much recognition as they do, just as much opportunity. I won't say you need the same pay, but at least I would say at least a little bit more, especially what you put into it. You should get something back out of as much as you put in. So folks, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Shout out my man Clarence Walker, my man KL the Wanderer, everyone who's here who watched this live stream. Shout out to Miss Wood who's here. Appreciate you for supporting your coach. Anybody who is who's interested in reaching out to Coach Nisi, the link is in the live stream. If you are someone who's maybe interested in sponsorship does help. Have something that she can use, something that where she can represent, just really help her out in her process. If you're someone who's in her area, hey, next time you see her, pay for her gas. Okay. When you say she comes in to get some chicken wings from Horde, and give her a discount. Not just hard, Horde. Like Horde. So anything that helps these athletes in their process and their goals, those little things help in a long way. I'm just a small channel. Like I said, it took me nearly 6 years to get 2,000 subscribers. I'm almost over that limit now. And I enjoy doing this work. I enjoy talking to you ladies. Like I said, I know my crime is I'm a muscle person, but when I get to talk to you women, I really get to learn something. I just don't just look at you. You're like, there's an old smoke saying, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. But that's a different situation. But, I respect what y'all do and how y'all do it. And like I said, then, if like the great Ronnie Coleman says, like, if everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one lets us heavy ass weight.
Right.
That's true.
A lot of weight.
Yeah. So, folks, I appreciate you for coming through. Shout out to all my guests here. This is from my man KL. He says, stop endorsing simping. Hey, call me a simp you want. He says, you gotta get locked up. Hey, I don't care. He's a hater. Like I said, God bless the haters, because you know what? You hate so much, but I care so little. As my other guy says, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So anyway, folks, thank you for coming through. We like to thank the lovely Miss Nisi Ewing for coming through. Thank you, Coach. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to go. And wish you best of luck. So what's the plan? You said you are going to compete next year. What's the plan?
So yes, I will be back on stage next year, probably mid next year. I'm gonna get my body together, get my mind right, get everything. I'm gonna identify the shows, and when we're ready, we'll come out. With no rush. We're just gonna make sure that the package is right this time. We're gonna make sure the environment is right. We're gonna make sure the mental is right. Bodybuilding will always be there. If I'm not right and I'm not healthy, that means that we can't be at our best. And so we're just gonna make sure that we're at our best physically and mentally.
All right. Well, I know some ladies. I'm happy to help you. Late. What I'm do is like when the list comes out. Usually they bring it out like December, but then sometimes they have to reboot it every so often. Once I see it, I'll send it to you. If you don't get it before I do, and this is my thing. I really want to help y'all ladies, which much as I can. I got a small channel, but I like to be a voice and be an advocate for y'all women for what you do in the sport.
Thank you.
Well, the quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when Jim Gordon said to Batman, "I forgot to thank you." He says, "You never have to." I love that movie. Yeah, I mean, Kristen Bale is the favorite. I mean, Ben Affleck, I love Kristen Bale. He's just like, where's the timer? So, so that's a great. Yeah, you're a girly girl. You don't watch movies like that. Never mind. But hey, folks, it's your man always Judge Bitch, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. I appreciate y'all coming through here. Appreciate your support. We appreciate the lovely Coach Nisi coming through. Follow her on social media. Support these ladies. Guys, don't be that weird guy. She has a kid. I don't want that boy to be beating up somebody about, you see that shit to my mama? No, I don't want that problem, guys. Be respectful. Be someone interested in helping an athlete in this process. This is not a race, it's a marathon.
Absolutely.
Take time to grow, develop, and reach out and be genuine in your support. So anyway, it's your man always Joe Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. Good luck, good evening, good night, and see you later.